Welcome to week 22 of my Self-Important Magic the Gathering show. This is Jeskai week, and if I recall correctly, I said last week that Jeskai was not a color combination that I particularly enjoy. Uh, I, mm, I think I also mentioned Narset. It's just not a fun color combination to me for some reason. There are some commanders uh, in this group that I like, but they're not going to appear in today's episode. They're being saved for a themed episode that's coming on after I finish my 32-week challenge. We're not going to start with this deck. We're going to start with one of the backup decks because I saw that I already completely built it. So that amused me. That sometimes I'm so impatient in building decks that I build them completely and don't even leave room. This one will be a quick one. This one's Zinnia, Valley's Voice. This is Jeskai for a 1/3 bird bard with flying. Zinnia, Valley's Voice gets plus X plus O, where X is the number of other creatures you control with base power 1. Creature spells you cast have offspring 2. So you can pay an additional 2 when you cast a creature spell, and if you do, you create a token that's a copy of that creature, except that it's a 1/1. We have our lands down here. We did greedy lands this time with no basics because I got lazy. Which, it doesn't sound lazy, but it's just easier to do this than to stop and put in basics. You can trust me on that one. We have 18 pieces of removal, which I think I'm just going to copy and put in the other two decks. Copy card names. We will do that now. Save. Kind of previewing the rest of the episode. So let's go over here. This is like the usual suspects from these colors. We got Path to Exile. That was the 1 mana, exile a creature. They get to pull a basic land from the deck. Pongify and Rapid Hybridization, basically the same thing. 1 mana, kill a creature. Your opponent, that player gets a 3/3. In one case it's an ape, in the other case I believe it's a lizard. Frog lizard. Then we got Swords to Plowshares. They gain life equal to the power for exiling their creature. Vandal Blast. You can destroy an artifact or all artifacts you don't control. Bovine Intervention. Destroys a creature or artifact. They get a 2/2 Ox. Heliod's Intervention. You can destroy a bunch of artifacts and enchantments or gain a bunch of life. Parting Gust exiles a creature at a non-token creature but you give them a 1/1 fish token. There's another mode on that, but we rarely used it. Reality Shift. Exile creature. They manifest the card of their library. Chaos War. Generous Gift. Stroke of Midnight. Battle of Bywater, since we're going to have a lot of 1/1s. Aetherize. Settle the Wreckage and Aether Spouts. Gets rid of all kinds of attackers. Junk Winder taps things down, so we got to take that out of the other ones. And then Dust to Dawn. Okay, so we got to take some cards out of the other decks, but that's fine. We're going to copy over the ramp section next. We can get rid of these two and that one. Then we add all of these. Get rid of that. And probably that. Go over here. Ancient Copper Dragon might make it back into these other decks, but there we go. So what do we got? We got all of the usual suspects: Soul Ring, Arc Sig, Guild Signets, Talismans, Solemn Simulacrum. Oh wow, we can just take that out because there's no basics in this deck. Shows I wasn't paying attention to myself. So we have a card to put into this deck. It's probably not going to be anything noteworthy. Whenever another creature controls enters, you get a treasure token if it's the first or second time this ability is resolved. Otherwise, you may pay X. When you do, Rose Room Treasure deals X to any target. Since we're making, since this is the deck that we're trying to make a multiple different creatures on, then with the Ancient Copper Dragon, deals combat damage to trick player, you get between 1 and 20 treasure tokens. Ancient Gold Dragon makes a bunch of 1/1s instead of treasures. Ozurtak triples your creature tokens. Rudiclad makes a token, gives your tokens haste, and can make all of your tokens be a copy of a single token. Panharmonicon doubles triggered abilities on artifacts or creatures entering. Oh, excuse me. Mondrag doubles tokens. Dielena makes a token on attack. Oh, she gets her own deck. She's over there. She can proliferate or populate, and she has fabricate, which means she can either put a +1/+1 counter on herself or make a 1/1 servo. Archangel Elspeth can make a creature, put tokens on a creature, and return low mana value creatures from your graveyard to the battlefield. Anointed Procession doubles tokens, doubles creature tokens specific. Nope, doubles tokens. I was thinking of something else. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you can either get a copy of an artifact token or get a gnome artifact creature. She makes gnomes equal to her power when you attack with non-gnomes. Jack Rabbit is big, can be big, and then makes rabbits. I know what I'm going to put in if it's not in a different part of this deck. Devilish Valet has trample haste and doubles its power whenever another creature enters play that you control. We got our limited protection suite. Let's copy those over to these other 3 decks. Get rid of Solemn now that I saw that mistake. And I think that's the last thing we're going to be copying. Then we have our evasion. We have Whisper Silk Cloak. Can't be blocked. Although it's more of a protection piece, since the Shroud is the part that I care more about. And then Rapid Augmenter. Itself has haste, and then whenever another creature controls power base with base power 1 enters, it gains haste until end of turn. Whenever another creature you control enters, if it wasn't cast, we put a +1/+1 counter on Augmenter, and it can't be blocked. Delaney says your things with power 2 or less doubles triggers when they enter, and can't be blocked by things with power 3 or greater, so that's neat. Tetsuko Umezawa says that creatures you control with base power, and that's, oh no, it's not base, it's power or toughness 1 or less can't be blocked. And then Prowler's Helm can't be blocked by walls. Basically, a lot of that was about I guess that means I can put whisper back over here. Zinnia attacks and might get people with commander damage. We have 7 pieces of draw. Ellen Harbreeze looks at the top X card of your deck, where X is the number of tokens you created this turn. And then you put 1 into your hand and the rest at the bottom of your library. Welcoming Vampire, Mentor the Meek, Enduring Innocence, allow for card draw when small things enter. Idol of Oblivion, you can draw a card if you created a token that turn. Skull Clamp turns creatures with 1 toughness into card draw. And Esper Sentinel might draw cards when your opponent casts their first non-creature spell in a turn. City on Fire, Firing Emancipation, they both triple damage. Raidmode Varmint, Cavalcade of Calamity, deal damage when small creatures attack. This one is power 2 or less, this is power 1 or less. Arabella, when she attacks, she hits all of your opponents, and then you gain life equal to the number of creatures you control with power 1 or power 2 or less. And the other thing we are going to put in is there's another Elspeth. Because I obviously put this deck together before Dragon Storm came out. Because it's another token doubler. I forgot about that part. I actually just remembered the 0. Even though this part non-bows with our commander, it does give all of our creatures flying until our next turn. We actually have a lot more categories, type. We have 22 creatures, but let's see. I didn't actually mean to do that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of our 22 creatures are legendary. I could probably mess around with this and like dump Delena Wild. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's dump Delena Wild Mage and put in something else that isn't a legendary. Notice I didn't put anything with native offspring in here, and that's because I looked at them all and I was like, these are fine, but needed a drink of water already. So let's just, the last bastion of I don't want to know what I want to put in my deck. We're not going to Agate Instigator. Solemn Simulacrum could go into the deck if we were more responsible with our land base. Drawing cards for creature tokens, but we don't want to draw too many cards. Oh, but actually, all of that made me realize what I want. Ancient Silver Dragon. So now we have all 3 Ancient Dragons in the deck. Hopefully we get to cast them, because those are our high end. Our curve is probably terrible. Nope, we got a bunch of stuff in the 2 zone, and that's like a lot of our ramp. Okay. So yeah, that deck was quick. I'm glad I went and looked at it and went, oh, we don't actually need these specific things. Doing a stretch. Be fruitful and multiply. Babies having babies. Only most of the creatures with offspring are bad, so they're not in here. For the low cost of 2, we can copy our stuff. What can we have that doesn't mind being a 1/1 token? Quite a lot of things, as it turns out. Like all of the ancient dragons. Save those changes. I'm glad I already put all that in there. So let's go over here. We can close that tab. So let's go back to our first deck. I was surprised by all the cards that were in here because this was empty other than lands last time I looked over here. So we have all of this, and that gives us 36 cards we can put in here. Right, because we removed all the other stuff. So we have the Face of Bo, a Doctor Who card. It is 1 and full Jeskai for a 0/4 Alien Advisor. Wow, 0/4 for 4 mana. That sounds terrible. But you can tap the Face of Bo, and you can cast a spell with Suspend from your hand. If you do, pay its spin cost rather than its mana cost. Activate only as a sorcery. Well, let's abuse the heck out of that. The rest of this deck is just going to be 34 cards with Suspend. Oh, Suspend. There are 71, but let's also order it by CMC because that's hilarious. And it also gets rid of the stuff that cares about Suspend. So of course we want Ancestral Vision because it's now Ancestral Recall. Although I think, is Ancestral Recall an instant? I don't remember. Glimpse of Tomorrow. Shuffle all permanent cards you own into your library, then reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Put all non-aura permanent cards revealed this way onto the battlefield, then do the same for aura cards. We're not doing that, but that's funny. Inevitable Betrayal, that steals stuff, we're not doing that. Lotus Bloom is a Black Lotus. You know, we may as well. Ding, and then Mox Tantalite, yes. Let's see. Then we have Restore Balance, which is balance. We're not messing with that. This returns all enchantments from your graveyard to the battlefield. We're not doing that. Soul Talisman is just another soul ring that we can't cast until our commander's on the battlefield. Or we can spend it. Don't care. Wheel of Fate is a Wheel of Fortune, so we're not doing that. We don't need clock spinning since we're not planning to actually suspend our cards. Delay, time crafting. Fury Charm, Joyrus Time Bug, Rory Williams, Rose Tyler, and so the top 3 cards of your library. I'm looking at Static Beauty. Move the top 3 cards of your library, play those cards in the end of turn, put 4 cards. Amy Pond. Whenever you cast your second spell, you can suspend something. Sinister Concierge. Rift Bolt for a lightning bolt with suspend. That's actually kind of bad since it's a sorcery. Riftmark Knight. That's interesting, but we don't plan on ever doing that. No, these are ones that that you want to suspend because removing time counters does stuff for you. Flying, flanking, then suspends for 1. For 1. We also want freed from the real, because we do want to be, because we're going to put in stuff that untaps bow as well. Arc Blade. Destroy target artifact or land. Paying 2 for that is better than paying 5 for that. Oh, a refrain. Add red for each card in target opponent's hand until on the turn you don't lose that mana. And then you exile it with 3 time counters on it. Sure. It's another piece of ramp. Shivan Meteor. 3 mana, mess up 1 creature. I think I'm good with that. That's another one that you actually want to suspend. Until your next turn, creatures can attack you. That's good. That's good for 3. When this thing enters, you exile up to 1 tapped creature. Usually that tapped part gets me in trouble because there's nothing to target when I want to, but you also get a 6/6 for 2. I think that's good. Flying protection from black for 2. We can come back for that one. Inspiring Refrain. You draw 2 cards for 3, but it comes back every three turns. That's fine. It stinks the first time, but when you can, when do you remove time counters on your own upkeeps, right? No, nobody else's. Yeah, okay. Boy, that'd be broke as heck if it was every upkeep. A 4/4 for 2. A 4/4 with flying for 2. That works for me. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. No. Parting of the Ways. Ivory Giant. Taps all non-white creatures. Oh, if he himself is a... You know what? We want if. We want to be able to cast if for 2 as well. A 7/5 trample for 2. I already said I think a 4/4 flying for 2 is fine. No more than 1 creature can attack you each turn. That's good. And it's an 8/8 with trample for 3. Star Whale's also good because it's an 8/8 for 2 that has flying vigilance and gives Ward 2 to your other creatures. Gaining 20 life for 1. Don't care. That's funny. This can't be blocked. And this is just a 9/7 for 1. It doesn't have anything special. So what are we at? We are at 84. I think I got some neat cards in there. Let's rename this to stuff with suspend. Suspend, just so I kind of know what I have going on in that category. Where is the suspend? Okay, suspend got moved all the way down there, so let's move sack outlet. Suspend. I think I'm going to dump Chaos Warp. Shivan Meteor and Plunder can go over there. Rousing Refrain can go over there. This Whale can go here. That can go here. You can go here. You can go there. Deep Sea Kraken can go there. You go there. I probably do want more than 16 cards with suspend. Let's bring that up to, let's see if we can find 4 more, but let's do it through EDH Rec. Okay, they like the theft, they like the wheel. We know we're not down with those. You know what? Since it comes back every 3 turns, I guess I will do that. I guess if we're paying less for stuff, that might not be bad. Oh, there we go. Lorith of the Healing House, because it untaps permanents. I suppose the stuff that removes time counters is good for the things that go back, that put themselves into exile. I also need 3 more things with suspend. Oh, 1,000-Year Elixir has this part. Kelpie Guide. Vizier of Tumbling Sands. Arc Blade, since it suspends itself even though it's kind of bad, so that's 2 more. As Foretold is interesting. Gain 2 life for each creature target player controls. Eh. Oh, we kind of... Oh, yeah. Propaganda and Ghostly Prison. I gotta find the other one. I don't know how many non-creature spells we're casting, but Whirlwind of Thought is a good card. We're not putting in Ristic Study because it's a game changer. We don't have a Time Lord. Actually, I do like Glimpse of Tomorrow, so that's one more. Untap a Legendary. That's an extra land, but it is important to the deck. Magerite Stone. Oh, this thing that's Free from the Real Part 2. With some other stuff on it. Oh, Spark Double, just so we have another one. I guess Rift Bolt, even though it's a sorcery. So we have 4 more. Move to the suspend counter, caring about stuff, to the suspend. There we go. This is a weird and bad deck, I think, but G-H-O-P-R-I. There we go. So now we have both Propaganda and Ghostly Prison. How many? Wait. I don't know why I went down there. We have a bunch of things. Nope. Categories. Type. We only have 13 creatures. So we're going to go up to, try to go up to 16 creatures maybe. So, but we're going to put, we're going to go over here. O, untap, target. And then or untap another target. T creature or the Cayth. Oh, that untaps lands. Da, 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 da. This thing. Where's that put me? One more. There, and then we can collect evidence if we ever feel that that's important. But there we go. There's our garbage suspend deck with 20 suspend cards. Can this deck be better? Of course it can. But someone other than me is going to build it. I like the face of bow, but it turns out suspend doesn't really have a lot going on, I guess. I mean, it has some really sweet stuff going on. So, like, basically we want to cheat out the dumb stuff. I'm just going to call this deck Boe. B-O-E. Unlisted. Cheat out, suspend stuff. Cheat out, suspend stuff. Spell words correctly. Save changes. Close. So now we're on to the Fabricate deck. We saw Cayth, famed Mechanist in the Offspring deck. For Jeskai for a 3/3 Dwarf Artificer with Fabricate, which means when they come into play, they can get a 1/1 counter on themselves, or you get a 1/1 servo. Other non-token creatures you control also have Fabricate 1. And then you can pay 2 and tap her to choose one. You can populate, which means you can create a copy of an artifact you control. I don't know if it has to be a creature artifact, but that's what clicking this. Oh wait, do this? Yep, there we go. It doesn't explain what populate is. Okay, populate is specifically creature tokens. Or you can proliferate, which is put an additional counter on anything that has a counter on your stuff or your opponent's stuff. And I know it includes poison counters, but we ain't doing anything with that. But I think it also includes energy counters, which we're not doing anything with, but that is, also a thing. And then these are, I think everything that has populate is right here, plus sorry. Plus a few other things. Let's see. So we got Accomplished Automation. It has Fabricate 1, so it'll be Fabricate 1 and then Fabricate 1 again. It is a 5/7 for 7. Odertaj again, triples creature token creation. Our good friend Elspeth Stormslayer, which doubles token creation, and then also has those sweet abilities. Divine Visitations turns our 1/1 servos into 4/4 angels with flying and vigilance. Angel of Invention has Fabricate 2 natively, plus flying, vigilance, and lifelink, and other creatures get 1/1. Get +1/+1, I mean. Visionary Augmenter, Fabricate 2. Propeller Engineer, flying and Fabricate 1. Mondrag doubles tokens. Ivory League Steed has haste and Fabricate 1. Anointed Possession doubles tokens. Glint Sleeve Artisan has Fabricate 1. Anafenza has whenever another non-token creature you control dies, Anafenza endures 2. I don't know why this is in this deck, so I'm removing it. I don't know what I was thinking at the time. Oh, I think I put some Endure things in here. Yeah, I put like 3 Endure things in here, and now I'm taking them out. So that leaves us with an even 25 type. We have 8 creatures. So we want creatures. We're not putting in 25 creatures, obviously, but we're gonna. I'm just seeing. Okay, so I put in everything. Wow, there's very little. Fabricate was not a Jeskai ability. Not. You'd think that something that created servos. I'm gonna click off of this. Whoops. Just to see what other if it came in other colors. Like, was it? I mean, it doesn't sound like something that was black or green. Oh no, it was black and green. Fabricate was for some reason Abzan, but not not Tarkir Abzan, just Abzan in general, because this is this is Ye Olde Kaladesh. That is so interesting. We kind of want creatures that create creatures, or +1/+1 counters, so we can populate and proliferate. Proliferate also proliferates our planeswalker that we have. Taking more water. I'm going to hit EDH Rec to get an idea. Of course, they want Solemn. Of course, they want Agate. Of course, they want Molten Gatekeeper. Oh, yeah, Brutaclad. That's for historic spells. That's for artifact spells. I don't think we're going to be casting that many artifact spells. Affinity, but affinity for artifacts. Though not that thing. Whenever we cast a creature spell, let's get a gnome. Let's do this. So basically we're copying a lot of what's in actually, Guide of Souls is good because you get an energy counter which can be proliferated. Urza, Prince of Krug, makes our servos 3/3s. Close this because I realized something I wanted to copy from Bo. Copy card names. Since Cayth's ability is a tap ability, we want the untap section. There we go. That puts us at 90. I just want to see types. We have 19 creatures. Let's see. What would be funny? Actually, yeah. Okay, so this is funny. I don't remember its name. T. Bird T. Bard. Put Zinnia in this. So now they're in each other's deck. That amuses me greatly. Also, I think we're doing better with non-legendary creatures, I think. Oh, especially with the Fabricate. Let's go to type, actually. So we have 20 creatures over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we only have 7 legendary creatures. And I'm not counting the commander, because they're not shuffled into the deck. But I'm going to recount. Aim is 1, or Anum, sorry. Missed a whole word, letter. Eoreth is 2. Zinnia is 3. Mondrek is 4. Urza is 5. Brutaclad is 6. And Ozertok is 7. Okay. We want another, like, 5 creatures, though. At least. Maybe. EDH Rec. Go back into creatures. No, no. Gives our artifact creatures haste. Okay, I like that. Other artifact creatures you control have haste. That's always nice. Whenever one or more artifact creatures you control attack, it does X damage to any target, and you scry X, where X is the number of tapped artifacts you control. Not counting the attackers, just anything that you happen to have tapped. Skull Clamp, duh. Panharmonicon, duh. Idol of Oblivion, duh. The Busybody, duh. And that new tab again. What from your draw section can I lift? I mean, I guess I could put in Esper Sentinel. Oh, and these things. But not the dragon. So let's copy the card names. Almost close the entire window for no reason. So, whoops. That's in, that's in. That's it. And these two are in. And if we leave... Oh, and that just gets me to 100. Yeah, I like that. And we're under an hour, and I don't like these things being under an hour. Oops. Nope, that had trouble getting back to this window. So let's go here. Private, unlisted. A lot of little guys spell words correctly and not press the wrong keys. Just make a lot of little guys. There, and then new deck. We're just gonna call it Jeskai. T legend T creature order CMC and color equals white, red, blue. Captain America is being saved, as is Guile, for the record. Just doing another stretch. Okay, so we have Dr. Madison Lee. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you get energy. I like messing with energy. Pay an energy, and then a creature gets +1/+0 trample and haste until end of turn. 3 energy to draw a card. 5 energy to get an artifact from your graveyard back to the battlefield tapped. I like her. I imagine other people can build her better than me. Hey, give me one moment. Just taking some ibuprofen. So Dr. Madison Lee's on the short list. Leori, Spark Touched Hunter, doubling up very specific Planeswalker activations when they deal damage to a player. That's honestly interesting, but I don't know if I want to do an oops all specific Planeswalker. Stuff like I could have all the Gideons or all the Chandras or all the Jaces. I wouldn't have all the Jaces, but we're just ignoring Narset. We did Zinnia. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing Aragorn. We did that. Oh. Huh. Diane here is interesting. Then there's Gandalf. Then there's Nostro, Voice of the Crags. That's weird. Kygar's Wind Fury's good. I think I have. Yeah, I have a Kaikar for a theme week down the road. Joda's secretly 5 colors. Not so secretly when you actually read it. Hinata Dawn Crown is interesting. Spells you cast cost 1 less for each target, and then spells your opponents cast cost 1 more for each target. You can do some I don't know about interesting, but fun stuff with that. We did Bow. We're not doing anything with Narset in the name. We got the Aether Flux Genius. Ruhan can't attack who you want him to unless you get lucky on a die roll. Zedru gives stuff away. Elsha the Infinite. You can cast non-creature spells from the top of your library. And you can cast non-creature spells from the top of your library as though they had flash. The Archimandrite. Didn't I want to build him? Hold on, what does he do? I'm going to see if he is probably in a theme deck. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain X life, or X is the number of cards in your hand minus 4. So the Archimandrite is a living ivory tower. Whenever you gain life, each advisor, artificer, and monk you control gains vigilance and plus X+0 until end of turn, where X is the amount of life you gained. Tap 3 untapped creatures that he cares about. Draw a card. Okay. I like him, but we're not doing that. I think we're going to do Jeskai Energy. The more I look at other cards, the more I think, yeah, let's just do that. Let's put Liberty Prime in the deck as well. I believe that was very specifically a commander deck that had both of them in it. Then there's also the Jeskai Cycling deck. House of the Broken Halo. That's the Convoke. And there's Optimus Prime. That's obviously being saved for when I start doing all of the Transformers. So scrolling to top. Madison Lee is now the commander. So let's grab our lands from one of the other decks. ramp. The protection. And the removal. Is there anything in the removal we need to... Yes. Actually, no. Aldo will probably be going into this other deck. Artifact creatures getting haste. Copy card names. Control V. I know I just closed that, but then I realized I probably want save changes. How important is her? No, we don't. Okay, no, we don't need to untap her repeatedly. I think we're fine leaving out the untap stuff. But let's go over here and go O. Artifact spell. Just looking for Therium Sculptor, Enthusiastic Mechanaut, Foundry Inspector. Liberator, because we can cast them as though they had flash. Oh, the core, Guidelight. Oh man, that card is super expensive. Tempted to put that in here and do the proxy this thing, but let's cast artifacts from the top of our deck. Actually, nah, we don't need that. Shimmermere, Psymaster Thopterist, Videlkin Archmage. Scroll to top. Historic. Joyr's Familiar. Joyra the White Captain. Historic spells as though they had flash. There we go. What are we at? 23 more things. Let's go to type. 13 creatures. The funny thing is that I didn't put anything. Because let's be honest, a lot of this stuff is bad. Hopefully it knows that that's energy. It's a gathering. It's gathering the magic. There we go. So what do we got? We got stuff that gives energy, and then you can pay energy. It's dumb. Aetherflux Conduit is neat. Whenever you cast a spell, you get an amount of energy equal to the amount of mana spent to cast it. Oh, and then you have to pay 50 for that effect to draw 7 cards. Never mind. Da, 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 da. There's that one angel I want that can give things flying, or give things a flying counter. We like this because it gives us a lot of energy when we cast it. This thing gives 4 energy. This looks at the top 6 at least. This thing can tap for an energy. I like that. This taps for 2 energy and is also an artifact. There it is, Guide of Souls. I always forget what that thing's name is. Gaunty is Aether Hearts, takes turns. We ain't doing that. Oh, this doubles our energy. And then we can draw a card as long as we've spent 4 more energy a turn. But it doubles our energy getting, so that's good. Oh, this thing gives us energy when it attacks, and then we can get extra combats. That's interesting. You get 1 energy. Then you pay 1 or more energy if you do each creature you control with power equal to the amount of energy paid. This way gains indestructible until end of turn and then destroy all creatures. That's neat, but we're not doing it. Reiteration Bolt. You can, it's a sorcery speed, worst lightning bolt that you can pay energy to replicate. Oh, that's interesting. You can make a thing bigger equal to your energy. Whenever you attack, you get energy. And you can pay energy to make 3/3s. Wait, do I... Plasma Caster, I recall liking this. It gets +1/+1, and then... Oh, you get energy when it attacks. Oh, and they can either exile or 1 damage. That's worth it. Oh, that's interesting. Whenever overclocked Electromancer deals combat damage to a creature, if that creature was dealt excess damage, you get energy equal to the excess damage. That's worth trying. Landfall energy. We're not bothering with that. Whenever this attacks, create a tap and attacking token that's a copy of another non-token creature you control. You get 2 energy, and then at the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice that token unless you pay energy equal to its mana value. Sure. I think there's, if I went over 100, I already know what I'm going to take out, but we'll wait until we're done. Ugh. Whenever you gain life, you get that much energy. We're not gaining life, but that's still interesting to point out. Oh, we're almost at the end. Huh. Anyway, go to the top. We're at 90. I already kind of know that, I think... Oh yeah, that's right. 2, 4, 6, 8 to do 6 damage. Yeah, that one we're getting rid of. Though we're at 20 creatures, I still kind of want more. How many and then 16 non-creature artifacts. So we're at good at energy making. I guess maybe... Okay, so now that I've done this, I think I actually do want the untappers to fill out the deck. So we'll go here and we'll grab the untappers, who would all have been down there if I had this set to categories. Oh nope, they're not. They got moved over here. Oh look, exactly 10 untappers. Copy card names. Ding. Import cards. Control V. Save changes. Close. We now have 26 creatures, 18 artifacts, and 2 enchantments. There were 10 untappers. Oh, I thought... Oh, did something get... something might have gotten removed. Extras, deck history. Added removed cards. I removed that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did me removing that change it from... Let's go back into card search really quick. And go back into card search really quick. Right about there. I'm going to look for the last thing I would have added to see if that got unadded. Nope, that's the last thing I added. Well, we're going to go to EDH Rec, all card types. Oh, automated assembly line. Yes, I missed that somehow. There we go. This is now Jeskai Energy. Energy. That's just all we're going to type. And I am dealing with a headache, and I didn't see another thing I wanted to build. So we're calling this one here. Darn it. Next week is Sultai. We should have more fun with that. See you then.